The Steamboat Arabia, A Journey Through Time. Chapter 1. The Age of Steamboat. In the mid-19th century, America was a nation on the move. The Industrial Revolution had brought about significant advancements, and one of the most transformative was the steamboat. These powerful vessels plied the rivers of the United States, turning waterways into highways, connecting distant cities, and fostering the rapid expansion of the American frontier. Among the many steamboats that crisscrossed the mighty rivers of the Midwest, the Steamboat Arabia held a special place. Built in 1853 in Brownsville, Pennsylvania, the Arabia was an impressive vessel for its time. Measuring 171 feet long, 29 feet wide, and with a draft of just 5 feet, it was designed to navigate the often shallow and treacherous rivers of the Midwest. The Arabia was a side-wheeler, powered by steam engines that turned massive paddle wheels on either side of the boat, propelling it upstream against strong currents. It could carry up to 222 tons of cargo and passengers, making it a vital link between the bustling city of St. Louis and the frontier towns of the Missouri River. For 3 years, the Arabia carried settlers, goods, and supplies deep into the heart of the American wilderness. It became a familiar sight along the river, known for its reliability and speed. But like all steamboats of the era, the Arabia faced constant danger. The rivers were full of hidden obstacles, snags, sandbars, and floating debris that could rip through the wooden hull of a boat and send it to the bottom in minutes. Despite the perils, the Arabia continued its work, ferrying pioneers and their dreams into the unknown. Chapter 2. The Final Voyage. On the morning of September 5, 1856, the Arabia departed from St. Louis on what was to be its final voyage. The boat was loaded with 200 tons of cargo, including tools, supplies, and luxury goods bound for the frontier towns of the Missouri River. Among the passengers were several families seeking a new life in the West. The mood on board was optimistic, as the boat's crew expertly navigated the twisting, unpredictable river. As the Arabia made its way upriver, the landscape began to change. The riverbanks, once dotted with towns and farms, gave way to dense forests and untamed wilderness. The waterway became narrower, and the current stronger. The experienced crew was well aware of the dangers, but they had navigated these waters many times before and were confident in their ability to avoid disaster. In the early afternoon of September 5th, the Arabia was approaching a bend in the river near Parkville, Missouri, when disaster struck. Unbeknownst to the crew, a large cottonwood tree had recently fallen into the river. The tree, submerged just below the surface, had become a deadly snag, a hazard that was invisible until it was too late. The Arabia struck the snag with tremendous force. The tree's branches tore through the hull, causing the boat to take on water rapidly. The crew and passengers scrambled to save themselves as the steamboat began to sink. Within minutes, the Arabia was lost, disappearing beneath the muddy waters of the Missouri River. Miraculously, all the passengers and crew survived, but the cargo and the boat itself were gone, buried under the river's shifting sands. Chapter 3. The Lost Treasure. For over a century, the Arabia lay forgotten, entombed in a watery grave. The Missouri River, known for its shifting course, eventually moved away from the site of the wreck, leaving the steamboat buried deep beneath a Kansas cornfield. Over time, the story of the Arabia became a legend, a tale of lost treasure whispered among locals but largely dismissed as folklore. In the 1980s, a group of amateur treasure hunters led by Bob Hawley became intrigued by the legend of the Arabia. They believed that the steamboat might still be buried somewhere near the Missouri River, and they were determined to find it. Armed with metal detectors and a deep sense of curiosity, the group began searching for clues to the boat's location. After extensive research and several false starts, the team finally pinpointed the likely location of the Arabia. In the summer of 1988, they began digging in a field near the small town of Parkville, Missouri. The work was difficult, as they had to dig through 45 feet of mud and waterlogged earth to reach the wreck. But their persistence paid off when they uncovered the first timbers of the Arabia's hull. The excavation of the Arabia was a remarkable achievement. The team recovered thousands of artifacts from the wreck, many of which were perfectly preserved in the anoxic conditions of the riverbed. The cargo included everything from tools and nails to fine china, clothing, and even bottled food. The discovery provided a unique window into life on the American frontier, offering insight into the everyday items that pioneers needed as they built new lives in the West. Chapter 4. A New Life for the Arabia. The recovered artifacts from the Arabia were eventually put on display at the Arabia Steamboat Museum in Kansas City, Missouri. The museum, which opened in 1991, has since become a popular destination for history enthusiasts and tourists alike. Visitors to the museum can see the preserved hull of the Arabia, as well as the thousands of items that were recovered from the wreck. The story of the Arabia is more than just a tale of a sunken steamboat. It is a testament to the spirit of adventure and the drive to explore the unknown that defined America in the 19th century. The steamboat played a crucial role in the expansion of the frontier, bringing people and goods to places that were otherwise inaccessible. Its sinking was a tragedy, but its rediscovery has allowed the Arabia to continue its journey, not through the waters of the Missouri River, but through the pages of history. Today, the legacy of the Arabia lives on, not just in the artifacts that fill the museum, but in the stories of those who sailed on her, the pioneers who depended on her, and the modern-day adventurers who brought her back to life. The Arabia reminds us of the ever-changing nature of history, and how even in loss, there can be discovery and renewal. Chapter 5. The spirit of exploration. The excavation and preservation of the Arabia were monumental undertakings, requiring not only physical labor but also a deep respect for history. The project was driven by a desire to connect with the past, to uncover a moment in time that had been frozen beneath the earth. The story of the Arabia serves as a reminder of the importance of preserving history, of remembering the lives and stories of those who came before us. The museum, with its vast collection of artifacts, offers more than just a glimpse into the past. It provides a tangible connection to the pioneers who braved the wilds of the American frontier. The carefully preserved goods, the boots, tools, dishes, and even perfume, tell the story of a people who were determined to carve out a new life in an unfamiliar land. They are reminders of the hardships and triumphs of the era, of the relentless push westward, and of the courage that defined a generation. The Arabia story continues to inspire those who seek to uncover the past. It is a tale of discovery, of perseverance, and of the enduring human spirit. The Arabia may have been lost to the river on that fateful day in 1856, but its legacy has been preserved for future generations to explore, study, and admire. As visitors walk through the museum, they are transported back to a time when the rivers were the lifeblood of the nation, when steamboats like the Arabia were the engines of progress. They can imagine the thrill of setting out on a journey into the unknown, the excitement of discovering new lands, and the determination to overcome whatever obstacles lay in their path. The Arabia story is not just a chapter in the history of steamboats, it is a chapter in the history of America itself. It is a story of exploration, of innovation, and of the enduring desire to push beyond the horizon in search of something new. And as long as there are those who are willing to dig deep, both literally and figuratively, the story of the Arabia will continue to inspire and captivate for generations to come.